Hi, boys and girls and boys. Do you know what kind of tree this is? Right here behind me? This is a hickory tree. A hickory tree. And this book name is Andrew Jackson, Frontier Patriot. It's by Louis Sabin. This is a story about Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson was born on March 15th, 1767. His mom and dad had only been over in America about 2 years. Now let me tell you real quickly how this came about. Mr. and Miss Jackson lived in Ireland. Andrew had 2 brothers. Mrs. Jackson had 4 sisters. All of them lived in America. Oh my goodness, boys and girls, I'm telling you what. There's so much information in this book about Andrew Jackson. When I was a young boy, Andrew Jackson was one of my favorite people to read about. Biographies. I love to read about Andrew Jackson. And you're going to learn a lot of stuff in here. He wanted a Barlow knife when he was a kid. Barlow knives were very important back in the frontier days because you could whittle with it. You didn't have to buy any wood because everybody lived in the woods pretty much anyway. He couldn't get a Barlow knife. His mama wouldn't let him have one. So the other kids took their Barlow knives and made him bows and arrows and stuff like this. And Andrew Jackson loved to fight. He was a fighter. Now, don't you be doing any fighting, but he had to do that back in those days. When he was captured when he was 13 years old. He was fighting, and he wasn't supposed to be fighting in the war against the British. And one of the British soldiers wanted him to clean his boots off. He said, "No, I ain't gonna clean your boots off." So guess what? Find out what they did to him in here when he was 13 years old. I'm telling you what, boys and girls, it's unbelievable. He grew up. Oh, the British were coming down, burning all the houses and everything in South Carolina because that's where they lived, in South Carolina. And so he rushed down there and got his mama and his people that the mama lived with out and everything before the British came and got them all done. He became a lawyer at age 20. He belonged to when Tennessee, he helped Tennessee become statehood in 1796. And he was one of their first representatives in the House of Representatives. Then he was a senator. And then he became the Major General of the Tennessee militia. Then he fought in the Battle of New Orleans in 1812 against the British down in New Orleans. And he got national recognition for being a great general. He became the 7th President of the United States in 1828, and he served 2 terms. That's 8 years. So from 1828 to 1836, he was the President of the United States, and he was the first president born west of the Appalachian Mountains. He was called the Frontier President. So he died on June 8th, 1845. Boys and girls, I'm telling you what, I gave you just a tip of the iceberg on Andrew Jackson. He was called Old Hickory, just like the tree here, because hickory wood is very, very tough. And he had the admiration of everybody who knew him as an honest and fair man. I'm telling you what, boys and girls, you find out how his daddy died. Find out what his daddy was doing when he died. I'm telling you what, find out about his brothers. Find out what the living conditions were. Oh my goodness, boys and girls, I'm telling you what, Andrew Jackson, Frontier Patriot by Louis Sabin. You're going to find out so much information in here, you're just going to be unbelievable. So hey, this is Mr. Dean. Thanks for joining me for another Mr. Dean's Outdoor Reading Adventures.